Chapter 7, Digital versus Analog. Bigger is better. If you have ever attended a live concert hall performance of a symphony or orchestra, then I don't need to tell you it is a moving experience between the natural resonance of the concert hall and the natural frequency of each instrument. It is nothing short of a sonic spectacle one will not soon forget. The same goes for a great live jazz, rock, rhythm and blues, or folk bands. The key word is live. When you hit a drum, strum a guitar, or bow a cello, the instrument resonates. As a result, the frequencies create a sound pressure level. You experience live sound, you can actually feel the music. This is because the sound waves move the air. And if a public address system PA is amplifying the music, then the fullness increases. It moves more air around and efficiently disperses sound through the room. For many years, music was less disposable. The medium for recording was analog tape machines. The medium for duplicating the music was vinyl disc or records. To this day, discriminating audiophiles will only listen to analog music recorded on vinyl and played through analog equipment. This is for good reason. It is the one true method for capturing the sonic integrity of the music. Let me explain as best I can the difference between an analog signal and a digital signal. The main difference between analog and digital signals is that an analog signal has no breaks, continuous, and a digital signal is made up of individual points called discrete or discontinuous. Physically measured, an analog signal produces a round sine waveform, but a digital signal produces an angular square waveform. The analog sound wave replicates the original sound wave, whereas the digital sound wave only replicates the sample sections of the original sound wave. In the recording process, analog technology captures the waveforms as they are, but digital technology samples the analog waveforms in concert and converts them to a limited set of numbers, binary, and records them. Vinyl records and cassette tapes are examples of analog signals. CDs and MP3 files are examples of digital signals. In layman's terms, the analog signal is full, big, and organic, while the digital signal is compressed and artificial. So why tolerate digital technology? In a word, convenience. For those of us old enough to remember the excitement of unwrapping your first record player on Christmas, this chapter will resonate with you immediately, but for our younger readers, it will take a bit more convincing. Vinyl records sound amazing, but they required gentle care and considerable room for storage. So in 1966, the market introduced the 8-track tape. The Ford Motor Company was the first to offer a cutting-edge 8-track player in their 66 Mustang. By 1970, most Americans had an 8-track player in their homes. Records quickly became less profitable to manufacture because 8-track players were smaller and easier to transport and store. Within 5 years, the cassette tape offered more convenience and versatility than the 8-track tape. The end of the 8-track tape started in earnest, and the manufacturer's profits started to dwindle. Just like the record, the cassette tape was still an analog form of media and produced better sound than a vinyl. Then in 1982, Sony released the first compact disc, CD, in America. The CD was the first digital media created to record music. Billy Joel's album, 52nd Street, was the first compact disc release. The darling of music lovers for a quarter century, the compact disc is finally along the way of the cassette and 8-track. Its size, the advent of stream audio and digital storage has collapsed the CD industry. The CD will undoubtedly no longer be profitable to the manufacturer. As you can see, the progress over the last 48 years has merely been in the name of convenience and storage. It certainly wasn't in the name of sonic fidelity. Here's the most interesting phenomenon. People have become accustomed to illuminated sound. It is the medium of our day. If manufacturers keep telling the public that smaller is better, and the new always outperforms the old, then the next generation of musicians will never know that there is no sound comparison with digital to analog. Years ago, I was playing in the club in Burlington, Vermont, and a kid came in bragging about his new 200-watt digital guitar amplifier. He boasted how it would blow my old Marshall 50-watt tube amplifier off the stage. So I decided to teach the youngster a lesson in physics. The kid brought in his amplifier, set it up next to mine. I told him to let her rip. and he played for a couple minutes, and it sounded alright. But as soon as the band joined in, you could not hear the 200-watt digital amplifier at all. The young man said, "Alright, you play." With the band giving it all they had, my 50-watt analog tube amplifier screamed above the band. Much to the shock of that young man, he kept asking, "How is that possible?" I told him to put his hand in front of my speakers when I played. He could feel air blowing out of my speakers. I gave him a hug and explained to him that a tube amplifier has a push-pull type of transformer. This causes the amplifier diagram to move in and out and project sound waves. The digital conversion amplifiers, however, do not move the speakers at all. Even though they have a higher wattage rating, they only imitate the sound the speakers moving. They don't actually move. The recording output label on his amplifier had him convinced. Speaker simulator. Now I will convince you. I know your iPods sound great to you, but what are you comparing it to? It may be small enough to disappear in your shirt pocket. It may hold 3,000 songs. It may be convenient, portable, and easy to use, but it's filled with uber zipped, transcate digital music files. Do you really think it would compare to a vinyl record played through a Macintosh tube amplifier into a pair of AR speakers driven by a Bang and Olufsen turntable? There is no question that analog sounds better. However, digital has become the future, and all of us, to one degree or another, are forced to use what is readily available. I like to use the term social distortion in reference to the latest digital music mastering techniques. If you think about it, social distortion is an oxymoron to audiophile. Growing up in the music industry, we used to brag about releasing projects that were high fidelity with minimum THD, total harmonic distortion, resulting in a cleaner sound. Today, people are into low fidelity and high THD. When it comes to mastering the final mix, obscene levels of compression squash the signal to boost the volume to absorb absurd broadcast levels. In essence, the industry has created a volume war. This gives the artist music an unfavorable signal to noise ratio. In other words, we listen to loud, distorted tracks. To add insult to injury, these distorted tracks are listened to on phones or iPads with earphones or cheesy 2-inch laptop speakers. When a major artist invests $500K to record a sonic masterpiece in the studio, what is the point of listening to it through digital junk? Sadly, in our attempts to improve technology, we lose integrity. My purpose is not to criticize digital equipment or digital technology. It is literally impossible to live in today's world without using it, but I simply want to make you aware of truths that you may not be aware of. I dedicate this book to those truths. One obvious truth is music deserves to be heard with all of the sonic integrity that the artist puts into it. With that being said, I want you to know that this Whole Tones music project was recorded live. The instruments used were primarily acoustic. My electric guitar was played through a tube amplifier, and everywhere it was possible, I applied analog technology.